because in my mind I saw the big picture, and it helped me to get to where I needed for my water intake, supposedly. And then I did this for a few days. And then the Holy Spirit said, see how much water this is. So after I emptied this bottle, I began to take these bottles just to see how much I was drinking. And this bottle will hold 3 of these, 16.94 ounces perfectly. So then God began to talk to me. He said, here's the thing, daughter. He said, this right here equals 3 of these right here. But your preference, or the people's preference, is to have this right here. Right? Because if you say, well, I'm just going to drink 3, 4, 5 of these right here in one day, you'll lose track, account, right? You'll forget how many you got, and then when it gets to another one, you'll be like, oh, I got to drink another one because I'm actually at this number or that number. Hang tight, because I'm going somewhere. And he said, so the preference of the people, he said, would be this, because you get to see the big picture. This represents the big picture, but this represents the process. So as I was drinking the process, it seemed so much easier if I just had this and if I just saw this. If I just saw this, I'm good. But if I went this way, I struggled a little bit. And then he began to say, he said, let the people know, he said, even in the process, when you're going from one to the other, some of you can't stand the process, this process right here, so you know what you do? You help out the process by adding artificial flavoring to the water. So it don't taste like water. You try to psych your mind out that, yeah, this way I can drink it. This way I can deal with the process a little better. But how many of you know that adding flavor to your water is not natural? This is natural. Helping God out ain't natural. God says, that's the big picture. This is the process. And in the process, we find ways to help God out. Water represents purity. Yeah. It represents the Holy Spirit. It represents his way and his will. But then when we begin to add to the water, that means we're adding to God and his process. And God said, I don't need help in the process. He said, look at this. When it comes to your marriage, let me add a little color into this to help God out, because this joker is the truth. When it comes to my health, let me help God out. When it comes to my finances, let me help God out. When it comes to school, let me help God out. He said, instead of people wanting to go from here to here to here, they would rather that God give them the big water without this. Because the big bottle represents the big picture. Yeah. The big water represents I'm already there. The big water represents I can take this all in. But then God said, for some who will drink the big water, they will begin to say, now this is too much water. I thought I could drink all of this, but I really can't handle this. I'm going to go back to drinking my little waters. And then when I get to my little waters, if I add the flavor into it, it's going to help me out. But God said, daughter, tell them to trust the process. Don't add to it. Don't take it away. And he said, here's the beauty about the water. In order for our bodies to survive, we have to have, many of you grown folk, y'all have to have at least, to be healthy and your body to function properly, at least 3 of these. You have to have the water. You have to drink the water. You have to embrace the water. You have to endure the water. That is the process. Now, if Joseph knew that in his water he was going to get put in a pit, if Joseph knew that here is Joseph. Joseph already got the big picture. Y'all gonna be serving me. Y'all gonna be worshiping me. Y'all gonna be doing this. But what God didn't reveal to Joseph was the process of the waters. God gave Joseph this. He didn't give him that. And Joseph was in for a shock and awe moment, because let me tell you what happens with the process. When God gives you a prophetic word, you get excited about this. But when he gives you this, you get ready to walk away from it. Are y'all following me? You get ready to walk away from the process. But God said this. I just don't want to go through this. God showed me 2 children. Did I know that what was in the water that I had to drink came 6 miscarriages? And one where I almost lost my life. God showed me a beautiful marriage. Did I know that in the process, I was almost going to walk out on that joker? Y'all track with me. God showed me millionaire status. Did I know in the process that I was only going to make $125 for one full year in a business that he gave me? God showed me a healthy body. Did I know in the middle of the process that I would have certain diagnoses that come up? This is what I want. But these 3 bottles, this is what I don't want. God showed me the degree. Did I know in the process that I was going to get hurt, rejected, almost quit because folk wasn't acting right, gave me some crazy teachers. I made a bad grade, I almost failed out in one of my classes. See, God showed you the process, the big picture. But he didn't show you the water you was going to have to drink.
Come on. That's good.
Here's Jesus. Jesus knew the process. But he got to a point where he was drinking the water. And he said, God, even God himself in man form said, now, can you take this cup away from me? I saw the big picture, but even God himself in human form wanted to take away one of these bottles. You may get weak. You may get weary in the process. But when Jesus felt the weakness of one of them bottles he wanted one to be taken away, he told him, he said, but yet not my will. When you're going through the process, you may have a weak moment like Jesus, where you want to walk away from the mess, where you just want to leave folks, you just want to drop things like a bad habit. But if God showed you the big picture, and it's part of the water that you gotta drink, you better take that water back and say, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. This is a cup that you have to drink. Jesus understood that it wasn't about him anyway. He had to drink the cup for you. He had to drink the cup for me. And your cup is not all about you. It's about your family. It's about everybody connected to you. Everybody depending upon you. So I came to tell you, drink the water. Literally and spiritually. Drink the water. You don't want to drink water? Literally, you add your own paprika to it. Drink the water. Because something good is about to be made manifest for you. Prophet Watts said it earlier. Don't faint. And you're doing well. Because you're about to reap if you don't give up. Do y'all receive that on today? Amen. Bless the Lord.